Elon Musk is once again raising alarms, this time about a potential event that could have an impact on the whole world. He predicts that Betelgeuse, one of the largest stars in our galaxy, is on the verge of exploding in just 2 weeks. Moreover, he warns that its effects could be felt much closer to home than previously thought, particularly in areas of New York, Connecticut, and New Jersey. Scientists have monitored Betelgeuse for years, but Musk's specific timeline has prompted many to wonder, could this cosmic event fundamentally change everything? And what insights does Musk possess that the rest of us might not be aware of? Are we on the brink of witnessing a cosmic explosion in just 2 weeks? Elon Musk has a knack for making headlines, but his latest claim has the world buzzing about a possible stellar explosion that could impact parts of the northeastern United States. The star in question, Betelgeuse, is a red supergiant that has captivated scientists for years. Musk's startling assertion, that Betelgeuse is about to go supernova, has raised eyebrows and sparked curiosity about the possible implications for Earth. Let's delve into Betelgeuse, one of the brightest stars visible to the naked eye. If you've gazed above the Orion constellation, you might have noticed the reddish star making up the hunter's shoulder. However, don't be misled by its tranquil appearance. Betelgeuse is a huge star, approximately 700 times larger than our Sun. According to Musk and some experts, it may soon serve as the stage for one of the most breathtaking astronomical events we could ever witness, a supernova. Musk's prediction is not entirely baseless. Discussions within the scientific community regarding Betelgeuse's instability have been ongoing for some time. This red supergiant has exhibited peculiar behavior, cycles that are unusual and dim, that have captured astronomers' attention. One notable instance occurred in 2019 and early 2020, when Betelgeuse dimmed significantly, making it easily visible to the naked eye. This sparked excitement and speculation among scientists, many of whom suggested that the star might be nearing the end of its life cycle. Given Betelgeuse's massive size and ancient age, it seems a fitting candidate for a supernova. However, while scientists have closely monitored the star, no one anticipated that a specific timeline for its explosion would emerge, until Elon Musk made his startling announcement. He claims that Betelgeuse could explode in just 2 weeks, transforming one of the greatest mysteries of physics into a countdown. Musk's assertion finds some support in the scientific community, stirring up further intrigue. Renowned theoretical physicist Michio Kaku has also weighed in on the fate of Betelgeuse, suggesting that its time may be running out. However, Kaku takes a more cautious stance. While he argues that a supernova could be imminent, he doesn't foresee any direct effects on Earth, as opposed to Elon Musk, who warns of a possible impact. So, what exactly happens when a star goes supernova? Essentially, a supernova marks the dramatic death throes of a massive star. When a star like Betelgeuse exhausts its fuel, it can no longer support itself against gravitational forces, leading to a core collapse. This collapse triggers an explosion so powerful that it can briefly outshine entire galaxies. When Betelgeuse eventually goes supernova, it could shine as brightly as a full moon, and might even be seen throughout the day, which is an incredible sight to be sure. However, things take a more concerning turn with Musk's predictions. He suggests that the explosion might have a direct impact and potentially devastating effects on Earth. In this scenario, Betelgeuse's explosion could release enough radiation and energy to disrupt regions of the United States, specifically New York, Connecticut, and New Jersey. Musk posits that gamma rays and cosmic rays, types of high-energy radiation, could travel through space and influence the atmosphere of our planet, potentially disrupting satellite communications, electrical grids, and even posing health risks to those exposed to high doses of cosmic radiation. While this sounds like something out of a disaster movie, it's essential to keep in mind that Betelgeuse is located approximately 640 light-years away from us. This significant distance is why most scientists don't believe the explosion will pose a direct threat to Earth. Still, the notion sparks discussion, especially with someone like Elon Musk raising alarms. Let's explore why Betelgeuse is such a significant star. It resides in the constellation of Orion, which has played a prominent role in human storytelling and mythology for centuries. Its brightness and size make it one of the easiest stars to observe in the night sky. For astronomers, it serves as an excellent candidate for study, providing valuable insights into the life cycles of stars. Unlike our Sun, which will quietly burn for billions of years before fading away, Betelgeuse is a cosmic ticking bomb. Supergiants like Betelgeuse live fast and die young on a cosmic scale, and it has reached the end of its life cycle, poised for collapse. The persistent query has always been, when? In late 2019, something unusual occurred. Betelgeuse, typically bright, began to dim significantly. It dimmed to such an extent that people noticed it with the naked eye, leaving scientists puzzled. Could this be an indication that Betelgeuse was nearing its supernova phase? There was widespread speculation, until the star began to brighten again in early 2020. While some scientists believe these fluctuations are part of the star's normal cycle, others think they signal that its death may be approaching sooner than expected. We must acknowledge that predicting when a star will go supernova is extremely challenging. The timeline for such events is rarely precise. For all we know, Betelgeuse could explode tomorrow, or continue burning for another 100,000 years. However, Musk's recent assertions imply that something significant has changed. Perhaps new data has emerged, or certain observations haven't been fully disclosed to the public. Musk seems convinced that this isn't merely a random fluctuation in Betelgeuse's behavior, but rather an indication that we are on the brink of witnessing one of the universe's most powerful events. So, what can we expect in the next 2 weeks? According to Musk, we may first see Betelgeuse continue its erratic pattern of dimming and brightening as it approaches its final collapse. If Elon Musk's prediction holds true, we could soon be witnessing the explosion itself. Should Betelgeuse go supernova, it will be visible in the night sky for weeks, perhaps even months, becoming one of the brightest objects in the night sky, possibly outshining the moon. While this spectacle could be awe-inspiring, it could also result in possible disruptions. When a supernova occurs, it doesn't just emit light, it releases vast amounts of radiation as well. Some of this radiation could reach Earth. And while the chances of causing catastrophic damage are low, it's not entirely out of the question. Gamma rays are particularly concerning because they are extremely high-energy waves that can disrupt the Earth's atmosphere and magnetic field. This could result in disturbances of satellite communications, GPS systems, and even electrical grids. A significant surge of gamma radiation could temporarily disable some of our technologies. If Elon Musk's prediction proves true, it would mark not only a scientific milestone but also a turning point in how humanity perceives its place in the universe. Never before in modern history has a supernova been observed with such clarity and technological preparedness. For centuries, ancient civilizations watched the skies and documented mysterious lights that appeared and vanished, some of which may have been long-distance supernovae. But now, with space telescopes, satellites, and real-time data analysis, we are on the verge of observing such a phenomenon as it happens. For everyday people, the explosion of Betelgeuse could evoke a wide range of emotions: awe, fear, inspiration, and existential reflection. Imagine walking outside one evening and seeing a new, bright object in the sky, one that wasn't there before, glowing with a steady light unlike any planet or star you've ever seen. Social media would be flooded with photos. News outlets would run live coverage. For the first time, the cosmos would feel closer, more alive, and more unpredictable. Yet, as excitement builds, so too does anxiety. The very fact that Musk mentioned specific geographic areas, New York, Connecticut, and New Jersey, has led to a flurry of questions. Why those places? What makes them uniquely vulnerable? Some speculate that Musk may be referencing the density of infrastructure and reliance on satellite-based systems in those regions. A powerful enough wave of electromagnetic interference, while unlikely to be lethal, could cause serious disruption in communication, finance, and emergency services. Government agencies like NASA and NOAA are monitoring the situation closely, though they've made no official statement supporting Musk's timeline. Still, quiet preparations may be underway. Satellite operators could be adjusting or shielding sensitive systems. Power grid officials might be reviewing contingency protocols. If there's even a slim chance that radiation from Betelgeuse could impact Earth, no one wants to be caught unprepared. But amid the scientific and strategic discussions, a deeper, more philosophical question emerges. What does it mean for humanity to witness the death of a star? For millennia, humans have looked to the stars for guidance, for mythology, for meaning. Betelgeuse is a star that inspired ancient stories in cultures from Egypt to Greece to indigenous North America. It was a beacon, a symbol, a fixture of the heavens. To see it go dark, not just metaphorically, but literally, would be to witness the passing of a cosmic elder. It reminds us of our fragility, our transience, and the enormity of the universe. And yet, it also reminds us of our capacity to learn, to explore, to marvel. The explosion of Betelgeuse could light up not just the sky, but the human imagination. It could reignite public interest in astronomy, in space exploration, in the boundless unknown. Musk himself may see this as more than just a warning. It may be, in his view, a call to action. A reason to expand our reach beyond Earth. a justification for building colonies on Mars, for investing in space travel, for dreaming bigger than ever before. As the predicted date draws closer, all eyes will turn to Orion. Scientists will gather data. Observers will scan the skies. Children will ask questions. And perhaps, for a brief moment, the divisions of Earth will fade beneath the unified gaze of a species watching the universe unfold in real time. If Betelgeuse truly is on the verge of collapse, we stand at the threshold of history. And if Musk is right, if the star does erupt, lighting the sky and sending waves across the void, then the next 2 weeks could mark the beginning of a new cosmic era. Not just for science. Not just for technology. But for the human story. Stellar evolution, the explosion of Betelgeuse. The explosion of Betelgeuse could also enhance our understanding of how supernovae contribute to the formation of elements and the birth of new stars. Let's discuss what Betelgeuse's explosion might mean for us. First and foremost, it's important to know that Betelgeuse is approximately 640 light-years away. While this distance may seem incredibly vast, in the context of the universe, it isn't particularly close, even when considering something as powerful as a supernova. Most scientists agree that we're likely far enough away to evade any direct catastrophic destruction. That said, supernovae are among the most destructive and energetic events in the cosmos. When Betelgeuse does finally explode, it will unleash an immense amount of energy, enough to briefly outshine entire galaxies. This explosion will emit radiation, light, and particles at levels that are hard to comprehend. The key point here is that, due to the significant distance between Betelgeuse and Earth, much of that energy, especially the more harmful radiation, such as gamma rays, will dissipate before it reaches us. However, this is where things become complicated, which is likely why Elon Musk's warnings have gained so much traction. Even though we're far enough away to sidestep the worst-case scenarios, some potential risks remain. One of the major concerns is gamma rays. When a star goes supernova, it releases a considerable amount of radiation, including gamma rays, which are high-energy electromagnetic waves. If these gamma rays were to strike Earth with sufficient intensity, they could lead to serious complications. They might interact with our atmosphere in ways that could disrupt satellite communications, GPS systems, and even power grids. Musk's assertions that the explosion could create chaos in places like New York become more understandable when considering our heavy reliance on technology. If gamma rays interfere with our satellites or power infrastructure, we could face widespread blackouts or errors in communication. Before we begin panicking, it's essential to grasp that scientists generally believe Betelgeuse is not close enough to deliver a direct and lethal dose of gamma rays to Earth. The distance between the stars guarantees that most of the harmful radiation will lose its potency before it reaches us. Nevertheless, we're not entirely out of the woods. Even if the gamma rays aren't strong enough to be fatal, they could still disrupt our technology. Satellites orbiting Earth are particularly vulnerable to cosmic radiation, and if they were to fail, we could see significant disruptions in our communications and navigation systems. Considering how many aspects of our daily lives depend on satellites, everything from GPS in our smartphones to weather forecasting and certain financial transactions, this is not a risk to take lightly. A sudden surge in cosmic radiation could throw these systems out of balance. Additionally, we must consider the risks posed by cosmic rays, which are high-energy particles released during a supernova. While most of these particles are deflected by Earth's magnetic field, some may penetrate our atmosphere. This could lead to increased radiation levels at the planet's surface, potentially resulting in subtle but real consequences. People who spend a lot of time at high altitudes, such as frequent flyers or astronauts, may be more exposed to this radiation. Although immediate health effects are unlikely, prolonged exposure to heightened cosmic radiation could increase cancer risks or lead to other long-term health issues. It is also worth mentioning that not all scientists agree that Betelgeuse's explosion will have a direct impact on Earth. Some researchers believe that the effects of Betelgeuse's explosion will be largely observational rather than physical. In other words, we may not feel the impact in terms of radiation or infrastructure damage, but we will witness a spectacular astronomical event, one that could light up the night sky for weeks or even months. For a time, Betelgeuse may shine as brightly as the full moon, making it visible even during the day. Such an event would provide a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for scientists to study a supernova in relatively close proximity. The data gathered from this explosion could help refine our understanding of stellar life cycles, particularly the final stages of massive stars. It would also allow astrophysicists to test and improve models of supernova dynamics, particle emissions, and element formation. Moreover, witnessing the death of a nearby star could inspire a renewed public interest in space science, astronomy, and the broader questions of our place in the universe. Educational institutions, observatories, and research facilities could use the event to engage students and the general public, fostering a deeper appreciation for the cosmos. There is also a symbolic component to consider. The death of a star is not only an end but a beginning. Supernovae scatter the elements forged in a star's core across space, seeding the interstellar medium with the raw materials for new stars, planets, and potentially life itself. In this way, Betelgeuse's explosion reminds us of the cyclical nature of the universe. Endings are often the precursors to new beginnings. In conclusion, while Betelgeuse's eventual explosion poses limited physical danger to Earth due to the vast distance, it holds tremendous scientific, technological, and philosophical significance. It is a cosmic event that, though powerful and potentially disruptive in minor ways, will likely be remembered more for what it teaches us than for what it threatens.